And the silence from certain elected representatives is deafening. They, day by day, there's pollution, there's chemicals, there's all sorts of stuff leaking into Carlingford Lough here. And it's happening day by day. We can see it, we can smell it. People are raising concerns, sending emails, writing letters, and they're not getting no answers, no replies, just a wall of silence. We're very disappointed with Newry Council. We completely feel left on our own. You could say abandoned. If they've done as good a job as in sorting the stink out, if they had done half a job in sorting the stink out as they did to try to shut the people up, things would be all right, like better. Like, but we're here. As I say, Regen's still here. The Harbour's still not playing ball. They're denying all causes of the stink. And it's just business as usual in Warrenpoint Harbour Authority with their expansion plans that are going forward. The community doesn't seem to well, it started off as an environmental issue, but now it's more a social issue with residents and people that's affected by the stink. There's more to be done. There's loads more to be done. There's people working behind the scenes in front, leading things, trying to get contact with ministers and Department of Infrastructures and water agencies and all. But unfortunately, as I say, we're not getting no word back or no word. So we're here today to push for answers, more answers, and just to let the Regen, the Warrenpoint Harbour Authority, the Newry Council know that we're still here and the problem's ongoing and it's not solved. But I'm only here, as I say, in support of the residents, of the people rotting at the point. But I would like to hand you over to Kevin Gallagher here, who's been organising all the events, all everything, from doing loads of work from behind the scenes and leading things on your behalf. So thanks, Kevin, anyway, and thanks for coming, folks.
Hi there, folks. Just to let you know that a lot of emails went out on the 23rd of February to TDs, County Louth, councillors on the Carnford side there in the Meath, our MP, MLAs, councillors, every councillor on the council, and it took another email just 3 days ago for them to answer back. Now, two did answer back, Colin and Mark, who are always by our side, but the rest of them have to be either coaxed into, embarrassed into emailing back to say that they can't come to this. Now, if you have got, they're in America, different things and all that kind of crack, but what I find funny is there isn't a representative of any of these people either. Not a party member, nothing comes down to this here. We simply are I think we are too respectful to the politicians. And I think we have been. Every meeting, every public thing we ever do, they never get back, and then all of a sudden they would turn up and then they expect to speak, but if they don't email us back and say they're coming, how can we let them to speak? So it's getting to the stage now where there is the other point there now. There's cruise ships coming in here now in May, July, 3 in August, and you can get, well, we can say it, we can guarantee now they'll be invited to it and they'll be at it. And they'll be invited at to cut the ribbon down here for the bridge too, and they'll be all at it too. And it's just a disgrace. I think it's absolutely a disgrace that if this was actually, and I'll be really honest about this now, I lived in Rostraver for a while. If this would not happen in Rostraver, this would not happen in Burn, this would not happen in Mayo Bridge. And Warrenpoint, to be fair to us, we really have to start calling as it is, and a few home crews have to come out here. we could go around every door in Warrenpoint and put a leaflet through it. And we really could. We need to call everybody out to help. Because even if you don't smell it, don't hear it, whatever, you need to support the other people. And that's what I was brought up by my parents to believe in. You have to support your neighbours, you have to support your... We also have, and I am going to start calling people out here, because we really have, we sent an email to the Warrenpoint Chamber of Commerce. I got an email back saying that they couldn't make it. The person said they couldn't make it, but I says, well, you've got all the representatives in that you could send. Still nothing back. We need to hear from these kind of people. We need to hear from groups in this town. We need to... There's a real tanglement into this place here, down here. There's too many people in a big web that are strangled in somewhere along the line into this place here, that they're scared to even come out or talk, or they know that we know the truth, and they know now that they have lost the argument and they can't take this forward. They know now that Sinn Fein, all these parties can't be the ones that are in control of it and take it forward like they are with other things. They love being in control of it. They love that this is ours. But because we, the community, have come out here and we have basically, like, I'm not being funny here, but we have, if I could show my email box, it is absolutely a disgrace the amount of replies that are not there from the emails that have been sent. That is a pure joke. Now, just to let you know that a lot of freedom of information goes out. A hell of a lot of things, like Shay said, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. You might think there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't think there's been a break in 2 days in this since this all started. We're constantly bombarding people. We're constantly making them give us stuff. We hope to come out soon with other information that basically we have Colin McGrath, who's at the level of Stormont, sending letters constantly to the Minister. I would love to say something now that maybe is the way we should go forward with this. And we've got people here for profit here today, by the way, just to let you know. People for profit are here today from Uri. You haven't got Sinn Féin here. You haven't got the DUP here. You have nobody else here, but they came here today, right? And they came to last, all of them, as a matter of fact. So that just says something in its own right. I think we should, as a community, not me, but we should propose now that Warrenpoint Town Hall Chamber boardroom, a big round table. We invite every single party. We invite Regen, Warrenpoint Harbour, everybody, and have an adult discussion around the table and get this thrashed out once and for all. And in the act of transparency, you need the papers there. We need everybody there. We've got the Irish News here today. Thank you very much for coming, by the way. We've got Jed and all here. We need to get momentum going, but we need answers. And there's too many people ducking and diving here. They are really hiding from issues. Like at the end of the day, we've got a dump down there. There's ships coming in. There's lorries coming in with no license plates on them. We wouldn't be able to drive around our cars with no license plate on it. And that's the bottom line. There's bales coming in and there's holes in them. They're coming down there and they're working there at night. And it's just a joke. It's like a stealth. I can't see any other town in this area putting up with this. I can't see it. So why should we be doing it? I think Warrenpoint sometimes is too big for its own good, that it's very hard, and it always has been, and I'm going to put it's home truths again. It's always been very hard to get the people out to support something in this town, no matter what it is. A community centre, whatever. We seem to come out at the end of it all, but saved that dock years ago. And I think we should be on the back what they did and go for this again. And as I said, if everybody here would just raise their hand to this today, if we would, if you raise your hand, then we'll get this in motion. And then they have to come to it. They can't duck and dive no more. To invite Sinead Ennis, to invite them all, Mickey around, invite them all coming down to it. Meet over in that chamber, in that town boardroom, a big boardroom. Everybody goes and sits around that table. Everybody. And we trash it out. And you can all be standing outside it too, waiting for everybody else to come out and see what the outcomes will be. There might be 3 or 4 meetings, but it has to be done. And we have to all be adult about it. We all have to trash out every issue. We even have to hear their issues and what they're going on. but they have to hear ours, and that's the problem here. We are not being heard, and for too long, they've been heard. And everything that we have in paper form, and everything we get, and every license we get, and everything about a license plate right down to anything, it seems to be washed away very quickly, and it wouldn't be washed away in anybody else. If a local business around here now even dumps a bit of rubbish around here, or even a dog even poos on the street, councillors are down on it like out there. It's unreal. I just cannot believe that we're standing here now from the 15th of August, and from the date we were down there near enough 2 years ago. So it's unreal, and I think now we really have to start saying, right, let's all be adults in the room, meet up in that town hall, we all trash it out, we have a transparency there with a video in the room so you all see what they talk about, so nobody can hide and duck and dive from what they say in that room. And we put our things across, they put their things across, but there has to be a middle line for everybody to work from here. And that is what's needed down here now, and that's why we have to move now. We need something to have, something to go forward with, and for everybody here to agree to. So could we have a show of hands now if everybody would actually agree to that? Well, all we can do is ask them to come to it. Well, if they don't come up, well, that says it all. That just says it all as
I don't think he'll show. What's it going to take to get them to make an appearance?
Well,
Stop the lorries in the docks.
Yeah, I think we need to have to be a bit more forceful. They won't listen to us. They're hoping we all show up.
Can you use the microphone?
I think what's happening is they're kind of like lies, flies, and obfuscation. They're hiding in red tape. They're hiding and hoping everyone just gets fed up of protesting. Everyone has had enough. Nothing's happening. It all become futile. We've all give up and go away. I think it needs to become peaceful but more direct, because they aren't coming to these meetings. They aren't engaging with people. They're not replying to emails. They're hiding in plain sight, and they're getting away with it. But as we know, they come round to our doors. They're looking for our votes. We vote them in again and again, and nothing changes. It's quite a long time before another election. So I think it needs to be the case that we group together, and if they don't meet us in the town hall, we're trying to do things the right way. We meet them in the town hall. They don't come. What happens next? I think we need to be a little bit more direct but entirely peaceful. And if that's a blockade of lorries going into the docks, maybe that's the case.
Right, just on that then, there's a new thing. And maybe, well, let's have a show of hands of that. The thing with this is, we need people there. That's the thing. And it's night time. You're all going to have to wear a yellow vest. We need support. Yep, that is the bottom line here. You need more people coming out. And there is people that's missing here today, yes. We should get out more. There's no disagreement about out there. We should be in every single door in this town. But well, we need funding. We need money. For this to go forward, we need more money. We need banners around this town. We need stuff like out there too. We would need, that's a realistic check too. Yeah.
Until I was absolutely fed up sharing it on like
It is disheartening sometimes too when you're sitting and people are not coming out, and there should be more people coming here.
Really?
But from what is here now, would you go and block lorries?
Yes, definitely.
Right. And then we'll get more momentum, we'll get more people to do that too. But it would have to be done, in a peaceful way. Right? Right? But we'd have to put the thing out for a meeting first. And if they don't want to meet, it is the next line of line. So if that's a good, it seems everybody wants to block the lorries. Now, we did propose blocking the lorries last year, but we wanted to do it more diplomatically, but it's not working. It's not working. Well, it's working our end, but it's not working their end. End of story. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, can I bring you up here, Colin? You I'll let Colin say a wee few words here too. We were trying to not block lorries at the start to get momentum and get people, because some people wouldn't like that. You understand too. But now it's got that stage, I think.
Yeah, folks, we always want to keep the blockading to last resort. You know, and last year there was many people talked about a blockade, and we tried to put it back and use all the alternatives and use all means possible. There was another idea of coming up of having a fun day or maybe a fun weekend and on Carlingford Loch, and that's everybody taking their canoe out, their boat out, going back and forth to Omeath, and swimmers, boaters, kayakers, Curra Club, and reclaiming the waterways off Carlingford Loch for the community, and in that way we could reclaim the loch for a few days, you know, and make a point that way. But we would have to give notice to the customers of the port that the port might not be operating fully and at full capacity over them few days. So something like that could be possible to organise a fun weekend on the loch, reclaiming the loch. But we would have to give good notice out to customers to make alternative arrangements as the port won't be operating full capacity for that week. So I think it's an idea to be looked at, and hopefully we could work on something like that. But I'll pass you over to Colin Sands anyway. Thanks.
Thank you. It's great to see you all here on this beautiful day. It's sort of a day you would imagine every politician in town would be out shaking hands and glad handing. The incredible absence of politicians it's really astounding. It tells us one very powerful thing, though. It shows that a very powerful party or parties can be rendered powerless by the funders who put them in power in the first place. It's very difficult to see any other reason why there's not a single elected representative here today. And I know Mark Gibbons has been really brilliant in this. He did say he wouldn't be able to come to this one today. But I just wanted to put in some sort of context how your safety sits in all of this. You know, this is a really important bit, your well-being and your safety. This you may have heard already, but this piece of information was extracted by Colin McGrath from the then minister. That was, who was he at the time? Conor Murphy, yeah. I think he's gone south of the border now. Okay, and you know, there's so many ways to tackle this problem, whether it's closing the port with 3 kayaks or 3 wheelie bins. You know, it can be done, has to be done in a legal way, of course, because the whole idea of us getting together is to try and coax the people who should know better to adhere to the law. And just pointing out this one, before a license is issued here by NIEA, they are required, this isn't a recommendation, it's a legal requirement. They're required to refer the proposal to HSE-NI before granting the licence. That's a legal requirement. Colin McGrath's letter has got this response. This is the answer from Conor Murphy. Under the Waste and Contaminated Land Northern Ireland Order 1997, NIEA are required to refer the proposal to HSE-NI before granting the licence. HSE-NI may or may not comment on such consultations. And here's the key bit. In this case, HSE-NI did not receive a consultation. So it's highly questionable that these waste licenses are lawful. Yeah. That's just to give you, as people of Warrenpoint, where you sit in terms of government policy on your safety and well-being. To me, that's not just neglect, disrespect, it's contempt. I've just brought another letter which is equally important. This shows it in the the 15th of September 2023. Our local MLA, who's within shouting distance, Sinead Ennis, she received a letter from NIEA, and they pointed out that they had concerns about the smell here. So if you ever hear anyone talking about an alleged smell, their integrity disintegrates. This has been documented since 2015, the smell here. When Newrymore and Down District Council were granting planning permission to the land where DEFRA have now built that monstrosity of a shed, they pointed out that there had been a lot of problems with two businesses and residents with a smell. So again, the perceived smell, the allegations of smell and perceived noise, those are themselves very, very smelly, I would say. But it's, there's so many ways you could do this. You could pray. Somebody said to me the other day, you would think if St. Patrick could get rid of the snakes, he could get rid of the smell. And somebody started listing off all the saints you could pray to that had you could ask favours from. And somebody proposed, I think it was Saint Teresa of Lisieux in France. And somebody else said, I think you need to pray to Saint Joseph of Lisieux, who happens to be the CEO of the Waste Company, bringing all this smell. And it is one of the most simple problems you could imagine to identify and solve. There's a smell here, it's been brought in, it's been licensed, it's been hosted. The answer that would have you off the streets and it would in turn some form of integrity to Warrenpoint, Harbour Authority, Regen Waste and NIEA would be simply to get the smell out of here. Well, yeah, that's true, and it's, as well as that, it's an attack on our Mother Earth, you might say, and maybe just in ways of breaking up all the words. There's a great musician here who might come up and play us a tune. She works with the RTE Orchestra, the Ulster Orchestra, and did with the Scottish Chamber Orchestra as well. But she's often to be found on the side of hills and in places where people need to come and speak to fill the silence left by politicians. So she's getting the clarinet together there, but when she comes up, I hope you'll welcome Anne Harper. Kevin's going to say a few words while Anne's getting ready.
Cheers, Archon. Thank you. Just to let you know, folks, that just came across my mind there, a Freedom of Information went in. We got a reply back to say that we will get something. We don't know what we will get, but we'll get something back on the 11th of April. The Freedom of Information went out looking for, it went to the Electrical Commission, and it was basically looking for every single either donation, loan, party conference, stand, whatever they do at these things, money change. We have asked for the electoral agent to give us every single amount of money that every single Northern Ireland party gets from Regen, whatever donation it is. Because if Sinn Féin is getting money, right, and they were at the Ardèche in Athlone there, if they are getting money, we can turn around and say to them, is this why you're not talking to us? Is this why you are all quiet? As I said before, there's a big tangled web here. And everybody is roped into it, and they're all scared. The council up there is scared too, because the time we were up there for the motion, and Mark Gibbons fought our corner first, but we were all sitting there very, very quiet, and we could not talk. And I think I was a disgrace too, that Regen was taken upstairs into the offices, and the Harper was taken up into the offices, and we were just sitting there, and we couldn't fight our corner. And Per Mark was fighting our corner that day, and he done very well. The fact that he was told to keep quiet and sit down a few times, which is a disgrace in itself. So just let you know that there's a lot of freedom of information going in. We'll wait for that there for 11 April, see if it comes out. But that's there's the other thing. There's another thing in the we just, there's a lot of things. It's not just, there's a lot, this goes off into spirals into a lot of stuff. As Colin says, it's all about letters, it's all about different, it goes into different things. And it's almost like they're throwing a big load of stuff at us and making us deal with it. And we have so much stuff, it's unreal. And if it was here, I think it'd be up that height there. So we have stuff, but it's off the duck's back here. They're getting protected. There's no other way of putting it, and it's as truthful as that. They are getting protected here, and it's about time we got protected. And at the end of the day, and here's the other thing too: you go into that town hall, you go around to George Street there, and you put your ballot into a box for the councillors and everybody here. Yeah, and what are you getting? You're getting the same thing all the time in this town, and we're our own problems here because we keep voting the same people in. So we can't really turn around saying, if we keep voting the people in, just because you know him or he helped out with that, he did that there. But sometimes this is a bigger issue. And we really have to start, maybe, just maybe, the right people are actually here and put people forward ourselves at the next elections and make them wake up. And it's not just the word smell. There's all issues in this town too that they turn a blind eye to. And it's about time now, if it's a party or if it's going to be independence, we need to get more people in like Mark Gibbons. Because Mark Gibbons needs another couple of people backing him up in that chamber because he is not getting... They've ousted him in that chamber now because he's too outspoken. They do not like him because he speaks for you. They do not like him. We've seen it firsthand, that motion up there. That they do not like him. They're trying to quieten him down, and that man keeps rising up and he keeps talking. He needs another 4 independents behind him. Jareth Tinley is an independent, but he is also on that board. So how independent is that he's not even here today, but he is working in Ulster Bus, we do know that, so we'll give him that today. But at the end of the day, is it not up to these politicians too to get off their backside and do what we're doing? Get that town hall and bring yous all into it and talk to yous. Why do we always have to be the ones who's always taking yous to the streets and doing this? There are political parties and they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. They're never taking a lead in nothing. It's up to them. They can afford a town hall. We can't. And I'll be very honest about that. That town hall is a white elephant itself. We can't afford it. They should be taking yous to the streets and pushing us along. It shouldn't be us all the time. And just leave it out there. But it looks now we will be blocking the port, and it has to be done. So I'm just going to get people for profit here. We speak here.
Hi everybody, so I'm Mark McShane, and just as Kevin has referenced, I'm here on behalf of People Before Profit. First of all, I would just like to thank the guys from Rotten to the Point for all the work that they've been doing. I think everyone here in the community would, let's give them a round of applause. But of course, the community itself too has been part of this the whole time. You guys have been showing out to these protests, and it has to be the point made. I think Colin had referenced this as such a long-running thing. There's been many protests. This stink has been here for a very long time, and that's completely unreasonable. And it's not unreasonable for a community to not want their town to smell, to stink. Really, I think we can all agree on that. Why is it that this is such a long-running problem? Unfortunately, we live in our society, in our economic system, it is one that prioritizes corporate profits above normal people. I see there's a fella there with a sign that says regen equals profit before people, and that is fundamentally the dynamic at play beneath this. That we don't have, as referenced many times, our political parties here who have the likes of Regen at their Ardèches, at their conferences. I'd be very interested to see what the results of that freedom of information request are in terms of some of those perhaps deeper financial arrangements. It could be. Freedom of information is good, although sometimes the juiciest bits end up being rejected. But yeah, I think there were some really good points made by people in the crowd here today about how to take the campaign on further. You know, you have played nice, obviously, the whole way up into this point, and you're basically not getting respected back. The fact that you still have to be coming out and doing this. So I would say to people, to offer help, obviously, to those running the campaign, because the more people involved with doing it that are helping the people at Rotten to the Point in order to fundraise, in order to get leaflets printed, even created in the first place, and then going out and actually handing them in the community, that is how we're going to get more people involved. Even just spreading the news further to other people, sharing it in social media, things like that, telling your friends and family about it, that gets people out, it gets them knowing what this is all about, really. So just keep that in mind as well. And I think it was Colin had made a few points just about the Northern Ireland Executive Agency. It just seems crazy that you have, Northern Ireland Environment Agency. It just seems so crazy that you have consultations not being done about the actual health effects of what is going on here. there is no independent environmental protection agency in the north. That seems crazy to me. It's something that should exist all across the north. It's not just saying Warrenpoint, but we're seeing issues with the likes of Lough Neagh, over in the Spurns with the gold mining happening there, where again profit is being prioritised ahead of communities and ahead of the health of the communities. So we need bigger changes across the board with this, really. And I would echo the point made earlier by Kevin, which is that fundamentally, people take action when they're afraid they're going to lose votes, right? It's the same as last summer when there was the protest where everyone went up to the gates up there. Sinead Ennis was speaking. This was an election looming at the time that they were going to do stuff. Well, we're here with another protest that didn't do anything. Part of it is that there does need to be a political alternative made there that actually is going to stand up against this. So I think that's a very good point basically being made there. And fundamentally, we need to have a change in our society in that we shouldn't be prioritising profit ahead of our environment and our communities. That is not going to work long term. We're all aware of the climate crisis that we're hurtling towards. So in so many issues across the board, in terms there's LNG terminals being opened across Ireland to bring in liquefied natural gas, all these fossil fuels, Lough Neagh being completely polluted, and waterways all around Ireland by intensive agriculture. And there needs to be a sea change. This is going to poison our planet, literally. We need to rethink this. We need to have politicians and political parties that are actually going to support their communities and keep them sustainable for people living in them. Thanks very much.
Hello everybody, thank you Colin for your introduction, very kind. My name's Anne Harper. I come from near Rough Island on the other side of the hills. I became involved in campaigning for our environment because of a hill where I live, which represented the land goddess, where the kings of our ancestors were married to the land. The chieftains would make a marriage with the land goddess long ago, and their arrangement was, it was a marriage, it was a relationship, and we've lost that. And sometimes I think that these politicians who aren't here, but some of their names are around this square, they might shout Aaron go Bra at the top of their voices, but they don't know anything about the land they represent at all, or their heritage. We are standing in Carlingford Loch. Carlingford means narrow sea inlet of the Hag, named for the land goddess. The rivers, Ban, Shannon, Boyne, all named for the land goddess. The land and the people have a relationship which is being completely ignored because of capitalism. Where are they? They're not here. Why aren't they here? Money. Money's why they're not here, and money's why this place is being turned into a midden. And nobody cares, they're not here. But you care, and you are here, and I'm very glad you're here. I'm just going to refer to my notes here. I don't think in Northern Ireland, or the North, or whatever you call it, it's no coincidence we have the highest rate of femicide in Europe. Attacks on women. We're attacking our very mother every single day. We're attacking this loch named for her, a hill which represented her. The law is being set aside. The very hills where the laws were made are being ruined by the people who are supposed to be over our governors. Now, in the old days, they had a way of dealing with failed leaders. If the land wasn't happy, if she was showing them that she wasn't well, if the crops were failing, if there was a stink, somebody would go. They'd get a new king. They'd get somebody better because she obviously wasn't happy. And I would say for sure she's not happy. And if she doesn't get looked after, she will, well, we won't be around for much longer if we don't look after her better. And so I would say that all of these politicians who aren't here, they claim to represent the country. They claim to be nationalists. They claim to be people who are bringing forward the heritage and traditions of this country, have completely forgotten who they are. And we haven't. So in honour of herself and the women and the men who support them, I'm going to play Non Éireann, which means Women of Ireland.
Thanks very much, Anne. It was beautiful. Share on there. I remember the very first meeting here. I think it was at the end of August 2023. And there's a woman here among the many who came called Pearl, who went on television, ITV News, and told a very powerful story and probably came up with the best description of the problem here in 3 words of anyone I've heard yet. She said, it's an evil smell. I can't get that out of my head. An evil smell. If ever there's a documentary made about this story, and there should be, that's a pretty good title to start with. Shay, there was sad news in Pearl's life. Maybe you'd like to say a few words about that.
Yeah, folks, all I just want to say is a lot of us are here today because of Pearl. You know, it was Pearl that was suffering and sitting in the stink day in, day out, with not even knowing where it was coming from. And a lot of the energy and a lot of the support that we have here today came from Pearl and Pearl's wish for fresh air in the house. Now, I know things have been hard for Pearl, and she's living down there in the middle of it. And she's been to all the rallies and all the meetings in the town hall, even coming up day in, day out. But she can't be here today for obvious reasons, you know. And we want to show our solidarity and the support with Pearl down in Claremont Gardens, and tell her that we're still with her and we're thinking of her, and we know rightly she's with us 100%, even though she's not here today, folks. Thanks.
I think we're going to try a song here, and this is another angle of the story which you've probably heard about, that in the last few weeks it was decided by Cambridge City Council that they're going to start sending waste to Newry and Warrenpoint. So it'll be very well educated rubbish coming from Cambridge. Here is the thing. There's about 5 or 6 councillors from Cambridge have been in touch with us, saying that they are embarrassed and disgusted about what's happening. They say, why are we sending waste 400 miles to Newry, Warrenpoint? Waste that will probably go to Scandinavia. Cambridge is a lot closer to Scandinavia than Newry and Warrenpoint, and they do major on the fact that they're into sustainability and so on. So I thought it might be a good idea to write a letter in the form of a song to the Cambridge councillors. And I had a go at that. I just need to put this up.
Oh, you've got it.
Yes. Normally I know the words the songs I've written, but this is very new. And there's a kind of a chorus in it. It would be great if you feel like singing it. And if you feel like coming a bit closer, please do. There's lots of space up here. You're like people that come to Mass early to get a good seat at the back. But this song is dedicated to the people of Warrenpoint and the courage they have shown to come out on the streets time and time again, to the courage of people like Pearl or Shay or Kevin who speak up, to the man who owns the Brick Cafe there, who went on television and said how embarrassed he was by the smell and the flies. I was just speaking with someone earlier on there. You often get the situation that people don't want to admit that these problems are in their town. It's understandable. It's embarrassing to have rats and a smell and flies. It's so important to realise these don't belong to Warrenpoint. They've been brought here. So for all the people of Warrenpoint that have a town that's so worth fighting for. Good people all around the world, and the not so good ones too. It's time for talking rubbish. That's a serious thing to do. For waste is all around us, and although we may not guess, so long as we keep making it, our lives will be a mess. Have you ever been to Cambridge, a city of renown, where learned men and women learn to wear the hood and gown? The councils there decided with the help of Mr. Ben, by sending waste to County Down, the problem solved for them. Black and blue and brown and green, yellow, sometimes red, but don't let different colours do strange things to your head. Every bin is holding in our rubbish all the same, and if it buries us one day, we've just ourselves to blame. But what's the use of learning if you cannot comprehend that throwing rubbish somewhere else does not achieve the end? 400 miles by land and sea, sustainable be damned. Would you store leaking rubbish all along the River Cam? Waste's a burning issue, and it's growing hotter still. It's on our minds, it's on our roads, our rivers and landfill. River Cam to Clanroy Banks, who will sort the fee? If waste was sorted half as well, it wouldn't cross the sea. Black and blue and brown and green, yellow, sometimes red, but don't let different colours do strange things to your head. Every bin is holding in our rubbish all the same, and if it buries us one day, we've just ourselves to blame. But people here in Warrenpoint have had enough and more of stinking waste being stacked along this lovely moor and shore, while silent politicians' heads are buried in the sand. It's to the street we'll take our feet to give our land a hand. So learned Cambridge councillors, and in other places too, you may have found an option that you think is best for you, but what's the best for all the rest in Down or anywhere? Westminster's only down the road. Send your rubbish there. And black and blue and brown and green, yellow, sometimes red, but don't let different colours do strange things to your head. For every bin is holding in our rubbish all the same, and if it buries us one day, we've just ourselves to blame. If it buries us one day, we've just ourselves to blame. Thank you. We're keeping in touch with the Cambridge Council. We have a question before the Council Committee. I think it's on the 20th of March. So we're keeping pressure on from that side. There are many other movements going on too, quietly and effectively. And I hope Fionnuala here will come up and say a few words about that. Fionnuala McKinley, who appeared on a BBC News programme, and she described the smell coming out of the organisation here, Warrenpoint, Harbour Authority and Regen, as life-changing. And I think that's something to remember. This smell can change your life, but we can change the situation if we get together. Here's Fionnuala McKinley.
The smell changes your life, but not the way Chanel does, okay? The Lock Keepers is an organisation we're trying to establish to look at all things in the lock, the fauna and flora, the wildlife and the water quality. We've had 2 meetings so far, and our next meeting is in Omeath on the 26th of April at 11 a.m. and we really want a committee formed at that meeting. We are looking for people with experience of admin, people with experience of environmental issues, people with PR experience, accounts, all these areas. And we'd really appreciate if you could encourage people to come and support us and set this group up. We want to fight for the loch, not just about regen, but about safety and cleanliness for all our lives. But of course, regen and recycling is important, and I'm actually encouraging people to write to the Cambridge councillors. A list will be available online, and you can write to them all. If he has as many people as possible writing to them to tell them how fed up you are and about the impact it's going to have on your life. Whenever there's all this extra waste coming, there'll be lorries 24/7. There'll be far more smell. They're saying that the waste will be dry, but even if 10% of that wasn't completely sorted and dry, it will cause stink. So, for your own good and comfort and able to live your life without the stink, it's important to let Cambridge know. So I'm also writing to the Cambridge newspapers. I would encourage people to do that as well. Let the people of Cambridge know that we don't want their waste coming all this way. And also come to the Lock Keepers meeting in Omeath, in the hotel in Omeath at 11 a.m. on Saturday the 26th of April. Thank you.
At these meetings, we usually encourage people to come and say anything they would like to say. So there's a microphone here. Each one of your voices is just as important as the voice of anyone who's been up here. So if anyone wants to say something, please do come up. If anyone wants to record a little piece to camera for possibly the documentary called An Evil Smell, please do as well. But the microphone's here if anyone wants to say a word or two. It's okay. You don't have to if you don't want. Shay and Kevin, did you make the decision because of the... that you might leave it here, just chat rather than walk up the road today to the port? I think the port will get the message. And good, and I think even that term, the port, the port is this beautiful inlet here where boats tie up. Port comes from the Latin door or gate. So when you hear people saying the port is listening, I'm never sure what they mean. And the port cares. The port really does care, but the people who are apparently, allegedly in authority don't seem to care very much about protecting this beautiful place. So I hope you will chat and talk to each other. But thanks so much for coming along. It's just an honour as well to come and be part of this, and with people like this man here, Shay Daly.
Thanks, mate. Well, folks, I think we've made the decision we're not going to walk down to the port gates today with that big walk and a show of strength. I think we do know the port watches everything and listens to everything and reacts to everything. We do know that from over the years. We know their community fund is in full swing, and their community £500 gift vouchers are flying out all over the area. So they are. Their form is a joke. That's another story. But I think they will get the message from here that there's in the organising and it's in the making of a blockade off the port is in the plans, I think. And I think the community will come together. It's very important to recognise that it's a Carlingford Loch community. That if we're polluting the water day in, day out in Warrenpoint, the people in Omeath are getting it day in, day out. The people in Carlingford are getting it day in, day out. The people in Newry, the people in Rostraver and as far out as Greencastle. So it's a Carlingford Loch community issue. The water connects us all, and we are connected. So I think from this meeting we can put it down, and the port can take from it that they should be giving their customers notice that the port is going to be blocked sometime over the summer, maybe for a day, 2 days, 3 days. But Yeah, we'll just let them know because they can make alternative arrangements that the community is. Sorry? Yeah. Well. We can do it at a time and a choice of our own, you know. Yeah. We'll work something. We can work. We'll work something. So we'll work something. So, well, folks, I want to thank everyone for coming today. It's great support and great energy, and there is a will for further action. We'll just have to see what happens. But one thing for sure, Carlingford Lock is worth protecting. You know, it's too precious and it's not for sale. We can tell our politicians, you can look the other way, but we're not, you know. But folks, could we just gather in there for a photograph for the press and just take your wee banners? But thanks very much for coming anyway.
Just on that, folks, about the meeting up in the town hall, we will be sending letters out and emails out on that, because we need to do that first, because that there will not matter if we don't do that. We have to try and get that meeting first, and if they don't play ball with that, then we do that. And then we have to do it at a time where we know, believe me, we know the names of these ships. We know when they're coming in. They think we don't, but we know when they're coming in. We know the lorries coming down. So when we get a time of a load of lorries coming down at a specific time, then that's a better time to do it. So thank you very much all for turning up. Thank you.
So folks, if we just could all move in here for a wee photo. We can just...